What up, everybody? Lucian Albertin here, right back here on your screens. And I'm not alone. I'm with two amazing human beings.
It's your boy Marlon Patrick over here, and the one and only Lawrence DPT.
And this is
Reality Bites.
And tonight we're going to give you something entrepreneurial, speaky, a heartthrob. A friend of mine that makes his post make sense. You know what I'm saying? You know what? Just roll the situation.
And it's hot, by the way.
Let's roll. Alright, y'all, like I said, something entrepreneurial. He is someone that you can look up to, someone that speaks great. He is a model, a business owner, like I said, entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. He's a speaker, MC. The man, there's nothing he can't do. What's it, Jay?
Stop it.
Maak het warm.
Ja, allemaal.
Oh my goodness, guys, the one, the only, Mr. Deen Woodman.
What's up, my guy?
Yo, what's up?
Is jou hand alright daar? Zal je aan bas vandaan?
Ach, het is pas niet. Ga slapen dan niet, moet die eindelijk niet lachen.
What up, Dino?
How are you, man?
I'm good. Thank you for joining us here right on Reality Bites.
It's a pleasure to be here. I mean, you phoned me, you told me it's in Cape Town. You know, I love Cape Town. So.
Yeah.
Deen, Deen doesn't catch feelings, no? We catch his flights. Every week. There's nobody I know more than anyone in the world.
Yeah.
No, it's true. You'll phone me and you'll message me and you'll say, where are you?
Yes.
And it's either I say I'm Cape Town or I'm in Joburg, one of the two. But it's a weekly thing.
But what I do, I first go stalk his Instagram to see, okay, cool. I saw the challenge of Deen a little while ago, where, you know, Deen always starts with the feed and the walk, and then the friends go, I'm catching up on the situation.
Yeah.
And then I see, okay, cool, Deen is either in the Gautrain, or he's now booked into the slow lounge.
Yes.
So I'm like, which one? Okay, cool, he's in Cape Town.
I also stalked his page, and usually when you like look at people's Instagrams and you meet them in real life, and you're like, but Deen, you live up to that, hey? You live up to that,
Is it
hey?
the right senior or? I don't know.
Should we call Deen down?
It's working out.
But thank you so much for making time for us.
No, look, I mean, I can't think of anything better than to spend time with like-minded individuals.
I love that. Thank you so much.
So Deen, like we always say, we like to know and get to know the person behind the persona on social media, on TV, or in the marketing world. I mean, you are a marketing guru. Mm-hmm. I've seen this man does amazing work. And I mean, I want to get invited to the South, you know? I'm kidding. I'm invited all the time.
You are invited.
I know. So tell the people that, who's Deen? Who's Deen Woodman? Where does Deen come from? Where did he grow up?
Oh, Deen starts in all the way in Mitchell's Plain.
Shout out to Mitchell's
Plain.
Yeah, and a good 19 years of my life was in Mitchell's Plain. Wow. And I think the career started let's just say the career started with me understanding that I enjoy dealing and working with people.
Yeah.
That's where it starts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very much. Very much. I mean, and that's why we get along so well.
We
started in Mitchell's Plain. I went into tourism first, thought I was going to be in the tourism industry, did that for a couple of years, then started modeling and IT. Remember the big IT boom?
Yeah.
Did the whole IT boom, and then things changed because as you started modeling, you meet new people, and it's quite interesting. That was still those days when you had to stand in queues with your book.
Yeah.
You know, then you meet the nice people and the not so nice people. The guy will look at, is that all you've ever done? You know those guys. Reality. Yeah. But I think if you look at my career, it was always about firstly people, and then of course secondly brands. Mm-hmm. I used to love ads. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, when it used to be any time between on TV, you'd watch the show and then they'd have the break, the ads. I'm watching the ads, I'm laughing, that's a good one. I don't get this.
Yeah.
And that's where it all started. And actually, while I was in IT, in help desk support, because everybody wanted to get into IT, I started doing marketing courses, right? Sales and marketing diploma, and I paid for it myself because what happened was my dad at the time was ill. And he died when I was 18 years old, right? Wow. So you immediately have a shift. There's this like, you got to take care of yourself now, your brother and your sister are taking care of your mom, and you got to make a way. And we started in marketing, and that's when I started working for an FMCG company at the time. It was British American Tobacco, and that was a big learning curve. I mean, there you really get into the nitty-gritty of fast-moving consumer goods. They say fast-moving, my friend.
That's true, because you can buy it anywhere, because at every single event, every club, everywhere.
Everything. And and you get to understand the consumers, and that career grew, and I found myself eventually in Durban. And I spent 4 years of my career in Durban, and it's so interesting to understand how different people are in different geographical areas. You go with this Cape Town mindset, and you're thinking that's going to be it.
Yeah.
And you pop up into Durban, and they're like, "Hey, Lani," and they say, and I'm like, "What?" And they're like, "When are you going to launch?" And I'm like, "Launch what?"
The lingo,
the lingo, everything, even the way they consume things is different. The occasions is different. The moments is different, and you start to take that in, and then from there I moved to Joburg, and once again it's a totally different mindset. Where people, when they tell you they're inviting you for lunch, they actually mean it. Not like Cape Town. In Cape Town, you guys say, I haven't seen you for so long, we'll meet you, we'll do some lunch.
Never happens.
And then you got into the Joburg world, and I think, what was amazing for me is to understand that even in South Africa, we are rich in culture, right? We are rich in diversity.
Yes.
And what you might have been taught at school in a clique is not necessarily what's out in the actual universe, in the actual landscape. And that for me was special. You're always meeting people along the way, different genres of life, people in the entertainment industry. We did a lot of work taking marketing to consumers. They call it the consumer journey. And I think it's something that I keep in mind in everything that I do. You had a specific journey this morning from the time you woke up to the time we got here, right? And in that journey, there's insurmountable touch points that's available to brands. The question is, when you see it, does it resonate with you or not?
Got it.
Do you just flip past it, or does it make sense? Lucian said, I'm always about making sense, and it's probably where he's referring to my current career, where I shifted from client side and went over into actually consulting, and then from consulting into a company worldwide called the Make It Mean Something company, where it's not necessarily just about brands that we work with, or anybody can make a logo, anybody can do a campaign, but you got to ask yourself, does it fit with the culture? Does it fit with the people that you're actually dealing with day to day? And do they give you the credit of authenticity that you are playing actually in culture?
Very important.
If you don't get that tick from the consumer, my man, you can do any campaign you want to. You can stand flat on your head. It's not gonna matter to them. Nothing. And I mean, even if you look at it today in culture, there are brands that get it, and there's brands that just don't get it. They work on the monopoly that they have, and that has been my career. It's always been about understand the people.
And evolving.
Totally evolving. I mean, I've gone from tourism, but it had people involved. I mean, you have to understand the demographic of the people that you're dealing with, and also the people that you work with, right? Super outgoing people in the tourism industry. That's the only ones that will survive. If you're going to keep to yourself, you're not going to make it.
Definitely.
And then you work your way into the corporate world again, which is still obviously taking consumers into account. But the corporate world is a tough one. It's not only about what you know, but it's also who you know. Let's just be very honest here. And if you don't adapt, you'll die. It's simple as that. A plant is a simple thing, like with water. Osmosis is real. If you're not going to be osmosis in your career, and in terms of always believing that you are going to learn, well, then you're going to stagnate. And it's the same thing with any business.
Yeah.
You know, if a business is the same as it was 10 years ago, it's never going to be what it can be, you know. You look at nowadays Uber. I mean, they don't own any assets.
Yeah.
But they're the biggest taxi company in the world, you know.
amazing, yeah.
You go back and I look at things such as, and to mention a few like Netflix, they used to sell CDs, guys. I mean, they're the biggest online platform that you can get now of media, and that's why brands need to consistently evolve.
Yeah.
And I think in my own personal account, in my career, in my life, I'm a boy of 3 children to my mom and dad, both 9 years and 10 years older than me respectively, you know, so the youngster.
Yeah.
So you would always see them do things and want to be that, you know.
Yeah.
See them achieve things and want to be that
that,
as well.
yeah.
And I'll never forget, we used to ride all the way, at the time, Varkensvlei Road was the only road. They didn't have Vanguard Drive yet.
Yeah.
Was the only road that could get you from Mitchell's Plain to Athlone.
Yeah.
And every time we drove, there was this, driving through the farms, and there was this guy that rode a 500 SL. Like, you know, those, back then, it was a good car, right? Farm guy. And I said to my mom every time, I'm like, Mom, I can drive one of those one day.
One day is one day.
And she's just like, oh, my boy, you should have been a rich man's kid. Eh? Nothing like a colored mommy to keep you on your
back down. Humble you there.
Yeah, but then the one day when we started working with the different brands, and you know, and you got those cars, I was like, hey, Mom, you see, I got it. Eh?
You manifested it back
I
then.
manifested it back. And you know, it's funny that you say that, because a lot of things, life has it's not always been the greatest ride.
Of course.
Right? I think we get knocked down quite a bit of times. Sometimes you get humbled. I've had that in my career as well. Lucian, and you know, I mean, I was in the corporate world, and then I had to dabble, am I going into media or not? Staying in corporate, or going into media, because I started becoming a presenter, an MC, a spokesperson, and it felt right. And the reason I did that was because all through my corporate life, it felt like there was something I wasn't able to do. I'm restricted in some shape or form. Yes, I'm in the 7 till 7 or the 8 till 5, but you know, I want more. And they used to use me at the company at the time to host events or host parties or host different thought leaderships and become the MC. And then I realized, well, you know what? Let me take a shot at it, and I did the presenter search challenge. And was just totally blasé, right? Total bet with my mates. They said, go ahead and do this thing. I'm like, okay. Did it quickly, one shot take with Charlton. And next thing I know, I get called and I'm like on the show.
Oh boy.
Guys, not just that. Dean made it all the way to top 4.
Oh, that's very good.
Dean.
And Dean had a very, actually he was supposed to be selected, but a question came to Dean, and obviously he had to decide.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a tough one. It was a very tough one. You know, you always will, and that's why I say you got to be careful what you manifest. Firstly, you manifest for something like this, it comes your way. Then you start doubt, right? Yeah,
It's natural to
how
doubt.
solid is the paycheck going to be? You know, like where's the next bread and all the stuff going to come from? And then you like pull yourself back and you say, well, maybe I can do both. And it doesn't normally happen. You've got to either fully commit, or you got to, decide that it's not the time. And then eventually left British American Tobacco, started my own consultancy firm, and COVID comes.
Correct, yeah.
Right? COVID comes and we realize, geez, how the hell am I going to get clients when I can't even see clients? Offices are closed, you can't do anything about it. And I just kept on working, kept on hustling, whether it be going into the PPE game, whether it be getting small businesses that need some consulting in terms of marketing, whether it be spokes talks that I was doing, I did it. Until one day, a good friend of mine and my business partner at the moment, Adam Byers, he came to me and Nathan Reddy, and they said to me, listen, come up to Joburg. Come up for a week. Come see what we do, because we've seen what you done. And moved up with them and never ever looked back. And that's been the
Perfect
case.
calling.
Yeah. And I've been working with him for the last 4 years. And in the back of our mind was always to start an experiential arm of the agency. So an entertainment and experiential division. And that's what we refer to as 608, that Lucian has referred to earlier when he was talking to me in the lift. And how it came about was, if you know COVID,
Yeah.
right, you had a certain period when no one could, in the entertainment industry, actually make money. Whether it was
It's
a
a tough
DJ, whether it was a songwriter, whether it was a composer, you were stuck. And as we started to unveil what our agency was, we tested it a lot on our internal staff, right? So our year-end functions, we would do an event, and we brought together arts, culture. It's not just about parties, right? It's about, like I say, curating moments that's going to give me the credit of authenticity in the consumer's mind. So how do I
An
take
experience.
creative, cultural thought leaders from fashion, from entertainment, from the runways, from arts, from performances, and put them all together in one show, which we then were trying to struggle with what's the name,
Yeah.
right? So we come up with names like Play, and I'm like, oh, but that's an energy drink, you know, and we're trying to think, how does it fit? And one day with who we call our godfather and founder of Trade Worldwide, Nathan, sat us down and he calculates the days from the start of COVID till the end. And it's 608 days. And we called the business 608. 608.
That is so cool.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So I am a human resources manager by profession, right? And I remember that moment where I realized this is actually, I love what I'm doing. I love being in human resources. So there was just one day I had to do a industrial dispute, right? And I was sitting, I was having this meeting with the staff, whatever, and then it came about me trying to resolve this issue, and it was a huge issue that should have been resolved years ago, but then I came and then that was resolved, and everybody was so impressed by it, blah, 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 da, da, da. And I remember going home that night thinking like, is this my breakthrough? Is this now telling me that you were made for this? When was your moment like that? When you realized like, this is what I wanted to do. This is me. You know what I mean?
You know, I think I thought I had that every time I stepped into a new industry, right? And like that exact thought that you think.
Yeah.
I'd like be like, first I'd always start off with the following, like I doubt myself, right? I don't think I'm made for this role. And then after 2 or 3 weeks, I get that. But where I truly found the breakthrough, like you're saying, was actually when I started in Johannesburg working at Trade Worldwide. Because I realized I have not only a voice, I have ideas and thoughts that are heard, but you actually have the ability to make a difference. Not only in a brand's positioning, but also in the consumers that are going to see it.
Yeah.
And that playing in culture and bringing the network that you've created.
Yeah.
Over the last 15 years, you've created networks in tourism, in media, in entertainment, in DJs that you've met, you know, in different hotels and different clubs and different venues. And all of a sudden, you're in a position where you can pull it all together and create a white space, a category of one.
Yeah.
That for me was absolute utopia. It's a euphoric feeling that you feel.
Exactly.
And I got to tell you, I think, to be very honest with you, that euphoric feeling came about 7 months ago.
Wow.
Incredible, because I can vouch for that. I've been to some of your events, and they are such a close-knit family. I was at family because
Yeah.
I walk into your Captain offices. The warmth you feel by walking into that office, it's like you're home. And this is just the experience of the staff and the people working at Grid Worldwide.
Yeah.
I was blown away. I even told Dean, because we had an interview there, and I said, you know what? It's such a family-oriented feeling, and I love that. And I felt very comfortable. I was family too. Immediately, I went to Nathan and Adam and everybody. Chommies. I even said, I'm not going to work for you guys.
It's a vibration. It's a vibration.
It's a good
definitely a
vibration.
Company culture is just so important. As a human resource manager that has to basically be the custodian of that in organization, I think is important. That
Look at you using big words here, custodian.
It sounds like he uses it all the time on stage.
Today, yes, today. First one today, because you are custodian HR manager. There you go.
And when people tell you that they can feel that energy when they walk inside your offices and whatever, I think that tells you alone like, we are on the right path here, etc.
100.
I have a question for you though that, and I think this is a question that I ask myself and like every time, it's like, do you believe in second chances, but from a personal perspective?
I didn't at first. but I can tell you now, I do. I've made a lot of mistakes in my career and also in my personal life. Let's take it personally. I've fumbled, I've fallen, and what you normally would think is you don't deserve a second chance. You do that self-implosion where you say to yourself, you know what, this is it. You've mucked up. This is where you should stay. Just, stop trying to be this flamboyant, over the top person. Just
Flamboyant over the top.
It's that sometimes you fear that trying to be too confident makes you too arrogant.
Yes,
That
yes.
feeling, maybe flamboyant's the wrong word, but that arrogance that you might think people would see in you. And I can tell you now, I do believe in second chances because everything happens for a reason. Every step that you take is to build you. A perfect example is never in a million years would I have thought I'd be in a position where I am now. I'd always thought that I would end up at the corporate that I was till our retirement, right? But the world threw me a bunch of whimsical choices to make. And it's because of what I was thinking subconsciously, but I was too scared to take the jump. And somebody just pushes you and says, well, there you go, my friend, you got to take this jump. And I do believe in second chances, and I think everybody should understand, as difficult as times can get, there's a reason that it is happening.
100%.
Then I went obviously to go and stalk you before this. So I came across this video where you were on afternoon expresso, like Espresso the morning show, I think, where you had some fitness classes.
Yes.
Is that like a hobby? Something? Because I mean, come on.
That is for both.
For both. Oh.
So it's funny because fitness has always been a part of me, right? I think I started training.
I know where he's going with this. I know where he's going with
age
this.
away. I started training when I was 21, 22 years old. And then as I came into the show and we were busy going into that audition, right? We sat in the McDonald's for hours, firstly.
Yeah.
And then they got us into this car and they took us to a hotel. We were going to now do this show. And everybody, when I tell you everybody, everybody's practicing lines, dude. Like I'm sitting there and the guys are like, today on the show, I'm like, what are these guys doing? So I'm like, ask the guy, I'm like, what are you doing? He says, no, I'm practicing my line for when I go in front of them. But surely they're going to ask you to do something that you could not have prepared for.
Exactly.
It happens.
And they're like, no, I'm sure that they're going to I just need to get my lines right. So I start doubting myself. I think, do I have to start doing what these guys? Because that's not Deen. Deen is totally,
Off the cuff.
Off the cuff. Ask me, and I'll go. And I'm sitting there. I'm thinking to myself, no, bugger this, man. These guys are getting in my head. I'm going to leave it. So eventually I go in, and was it Gareth that did it? I can't do it. It was Gareth. Gareth says to me, he says to me, listen. Here's the thing. The fitness instructor hasn't arrived. You've got 15 seconds. And we're going live, and you're going to have to ad-lib. Yo! That's what happened. And then I'm like, and they go 5, 4, 3, 2, and I'm like, hi, I'm your host, and I start and I'm like, well, if you don't know what to say, just start thinking.
Listen, the body sells.
Come on.
And then at the end of it, I get this line. And I say, don't forget everybody, flex and smile. And that was the time. Everyone started calling me Mr. Flex and Smile.
So, like, my first words to you was like, when I saw you, like, for the first time now, like in real life, like, you do live up to whatever is on there, on social media and on your platforms.
You make it make sense.
Does a body also do that? Does it also look the same in real life?
Listen.
I told you, I know he's going with this.
I did this with Raul yesterday.
Raul's got an amazing I'm fasting. I'm going to use that as my excuse.
Another one.
So you will be on season 5 again, no? There's no fasting.
I'm not fasting. But look, it's hard work. I think as you get older, I've been lucky. I've had a high metabolism for the longest time.
Mine slow down. It's an abomination.
But boy, oh boy, as I get to going to 44, I'm starting. Yeah, I'm 44, guys. I'm 44 years old.
Okay, I'm going to say it now for the first time on the show. Can I say it? Monica.
Guys, I'm 44 years old, but as you start getting there, you start realizing you have to eat even more better. You have to train a little bit different, you know, to keep yourself. You can't be crazy and doing crazy deadlifts.
Yeah.
But you do have to maintain your body. You know what? It comes down to your lifestyle of eating, man. I gotta tell you. I can, even now with traveling once a week, I'm not even a third of the time that I used to be in gym before.
Yeah.
But it's about what I eat and what I don't eat that helps me to actually maintain. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
That was actually going to be like one of my questions to you now, my guy. Like, because Deen, my man, you seem like such a flippin' balanced and, you know, like well put together, like man person, right? And my thing is like, how do you balance like work life and family, like personal life? How do you do that?
I never used to, right? Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
When you're trying to get your career going and trying to get somewhere, you do. People with addictive personalities are either extremely successful or extremely detrimental to themselves, right?
True.
So from being extremely addicted personalities to succeeding, work always came beyond anything else, right? Just call it spade a spade.
Yeah.
And then you start realizing that you can't just have work being the focus. You've got to have that balance.
Yeah.
And sometimes it knocks you hard. And it's the hard life lessons that you learn that makes you change how you approach things.
Yeah.
I think what I will always say is be dedicated to a cause, no doubt, but always give your body self-love as well. Because if this temple is not right,
I love that.
you're never going to be able to succeed in there. And like I say, you start experiencing it in your own way.
Yeah.
Like I can tell you guys, I was working so hard at one stage, I became 6.2 feet tall, weighing 62 kgs.
Yo.
Right? I mean, that's thin.
That is maar bien kort.
That's
But you're still eating like a horse, but the fact is you're not sleeping.
Yeah.
So
Just
you're
van
not...
5 minute eers terug.
And then you start balancing these things out. And then you start realizing, you know what, hang on, but weekends is for me. And then, you know, there's time for family. And then there's time for your kid.
Yeah.
You know, even now with traveling, I mean, I travel because I need to make sure that I'm in 2 cities at the same time, not only for my career, but for my son as well.
Yeah.
You know, because he's in Cape Town. So I travel 7 days Joburg, 7 days Cape Town, and that's it. To him, it's balanced.
Yeah.
You know, he sees me when he's supposed to see me. He's not with me when he's not with me, but I'm doing the things.
But it's important to say that self-love, love your body,
Self-love.
because a lot of people don't do that. I, very similar, work, barely see family, but also I don't eat right. I eat when I can.
Correct.
Because you're always just so focused.
Correct.
But self-love is important. And for bites at home, you need to take care of yourself always, because I just, with all our guests on the podcast so far, there's always a message they leave behind. And I love the fact that Deen said, love your body, love yourself, because you are important. You come first before anybody else.
And believe in yourself. I think a lot, actually not I think, I know a lot of us do this. We doubt ourselves, or we look at, and you know, there was this image that I saw once, and I don't know who did the campaign, but it's cartoon that's drawn, and it's 4 gentlemen and a robot, right?
Was it J.A. or push you up? One of them?
Love him. His work is amazing. But I mean, what it drew is this guy on a skateboard looking at a guy on a motorbike saying, I wish I had the motorbike. Guy on the motorbike looking at the guy in the car saying, I wish I had the car, right? Guy in the car looking at the guy in the SUV saying, I wish I had the SUV. We're so focused at looking at what we don't have in life, right? That you don't appreciate where you at, right? And like I say, sometimes life's hard knocks teaches you that. You know, you can go from having everything to having nothing, which is just material. But if you love yourself, you still have everything. You know, that is just a momentarily financial situation that says that goes one side, but love yourself, believe in yourself, and the world is your oyster, man.
And in closing, like listening to your beautiful story, like you've lived in Cape Town and in Durban and Johannesburg, and you met amazing people throughout your journey, right? Did someone ever do something for you which you will never forget? And what was it?
Sure, I've had
everyone.
I've had. You could call it
Some ones.
I've had some ones. I think No, not once again, not I think. I know. In Durban, there was a specific guy, Coughlin Pillay, who went out of his own comfort to make sure that I was comfortable coming into Durban. You know what I mean? He gave me a space, took me under his wing. Nathan and Adam have always been there. I know Adam for 20 years. So just give you the story about Adam and myself. We started as juniors at BAT. He left and went overseas. And we kept in touch, kept in contact. And 20 years later, he gives me a shot in an agency to start a business. And I know nothing about an agency, but he believes, that I've got what it takes. Himself, Nathan, and Davi. So that's the other person that gave me a shot. And I'd have to say once again, even moving from IT into marketing, Reinhard was another guy who just gave me a shot. He sat me down, general conversation. So how long have you been working in marketing? I don't. I work in IT. Oof. He asked me one question, I'll never forget it. He asked me, if you could be any animal in the animal kingdom, who would you be, right? And I'm like, well, I know everyone's going to say a lion. I'm not going to say a lion. I said elephant. He goes, why elephant? I said, no one can eat me. I live a long life and I die on my own accord.
I like that one.
And he looked at me and he said, okay, I'll buy that. And then I got the job there. So I think, when you ask me if there's people that have done that to me, those are the people I will never forget as you've gone along, I can even take it back to if I look at coming into entertainment and media with Lucian. When we got to that presenter search and he summed us all up, he gave me one little look and he came to me and said, Meneertjie, you better get ready. Because I can see you're not like the rest.
I remember that.
And he just walked away and said, okay, and he forgot.
Not him imitating, right?
That's like a brilliant impersonation of him.
Yeah. And tell me if you get something wrong on that stage with this floor producer, do you remember when I couldn't read the
order queue?
The order queue. Oh my goodness.
I can be next to him and be like, what are you reading? Because I see everything here perfectly fine. What can he on?
No, we live. Just before you close, we live.
Oh, and the mic. The mic situation.
And the mic situation. Yeah, we live and the auto cue goes as fast as you read.
Yeah.
No, I don't know this.
Yeah.
I'm like, hi, I'm Deen Woodman. I have no idea why this auto cue is going so slow. and he's like, and he says, cut, and he comes and sits next to me and he goes, really? He says, you got to read this thing faster. And then it goes according to your speed. I'm like, am I supposed to know?
Exactly. Also, one thing happened was one of the guests, Mike dies. So now I have to sneak in a mic to Deen. So we're on the guest, we're not on Deen. So I give the mic to Deen. He's like, oh, thank you, Lucian. So the viewer doesn't know. You just pass it on. But obviously, it's a learning curve. And as you say, your career, you've learned and you've gone and you progressed. And same with Presenter Search. You had to learn the little hurdles and stumbles.
I did.
And you came to top 4.
I did.
Basically won it.
Yeah. Even made me ride a horse, guys. I've never been on a horse. Got a brother on a horse for the first time in my life doing a presentation.
He just went of his way.
I wasn't on that level.
That's the donkey scene.
On that note, this, my dear friend, is the Make It Mean Something company cap. And this one is actually special because it's got our little 608 experiential entertainment. I'd like to give that one to you.
Oh, that is.
It has about no upset.
Nie lekker.
En Dinovia.
Dean, what's next for you, my friend, before we close off?
To be really honest with you, like I say, believe in yourself. I believe that the next thing is to take 608 global.
Yes.
And I believe that in Africa right now, we have the talent that they're all looking for. We've won Grammys now 3 years in a row. Black Coffee, Zakes, Tyler.
Yes.
Right? And it's time that we create a home for ourselves at the Grammys. So the idea with 608 right now is to start to take the African talent and bring the world to Africa, not take Africa to the world.
Yay. To believing in yourself.
Let's go.
To believing in yourself. There you go.
Believe in yourself.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I don't even know what to say anymore, but that was just beautiful.
Marlon, over to you.
Okay, cool. So, Deen, my guy, in true fashion, right? So what we do at the end of our show is we have a little rapid fire section. Okay, so it's either this or that. Okay, cool. So I'm just gonna ask you, and you just choose.
That
one.
one is PG.
Yeah, don't worry, it is. I promise. I promise
You
you.
can already see my ears are going. Right, go.
Okay, cool. Money or happiness?
Happiness.
Yeah. Summer or winter?
Summer.
Do you shower at night or in the morning?
Both.
Love that. Physical strength or mental strength?
Mental strength.
Love it. A night out or a night in?
Night in.
Would you rather like expensive presents or homemade presents?
Whew, I'm going expensive.
I mean, what is made is made.
Are you street smart or book smart?
Street smart.
Love that one.
Street smart.
Fresh food or fried food?
Fresh.
Come on, why don't you even ask that one? Okay, and then the last one I have for you is, would you rather sleep late or take a long midday nap?
Late.
Late.
Late guy. I can't do midday naps. Midday naps and me do not
Come on,
go.
man.
And on a Sunday,
I can't. I just can't. If I take a midday nap, guys, I'm not sleeping the evening.
Oh, it's like me sometimes.
It's the
I
brain
can't.
is consistently
Yeah, just
on.
going,
So I've got to get the brain tired.
Yeah.
And then I'll go to
Knock
sleep.
it out.
Yeah, but if I go midday
Yeah.
nap, you're gonna get messages from me.
I'm about it live about it at midnight. That midday nap, that's
Yeah.
me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me, guys. It's been awesome.
So much.
Thank you.
Thank you for opening up and giving us a little bit of a
Insight.
an insight into the life of Deen Woodman.
Yeah.
It was a
And
pleasure.
thank you for being an inspiration, my man. You really inspired me right now. So.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
And by it, you know, like Dean said, be that elephant. Nobody can eat you. You live long. You die in your own accord.
Yeah, here we go.
And with that, I will say 608.
Let's go.
That's how many episodes we're gonna do.
And guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment.
Also share.
Asseblief.
And follow this man on the socials,
Let's
man.
go.
I mean, so you can see the body because we didn't show it now. It's
Kyk
fine.
op sy Instagram, julle, ek het te veel gelieg. En hy skuld vir my nou. Season 5, don't forget. I'm gonna go all kind of stuff.
Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers, guys.